So they're running you ragged?
I am tired. These kiddos.
Our hard work?
My mother used to say, raising children is like chewing on a stone.
Oh, I like that. It's so true. My mother-in-law keeps reminding me that these are the best years, when they're under your feet and walking on your toes, because when they're older, they'll be walking on your heart.
Oh, I think that is true.
So I guess when they're teenagers, it'll be like swallowing a handful of stones, huh?
I don't know, maybe.
I made it so hard for my mother.
You did?
When I was a teenager, I was very rebellious and wild.
Wild?
My parents were great and raised me as a Christian, but when I was 17, I completely turned my back on my faith.
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Oh, I thought I knew better than my parents and God how to live my life. I made so many bad choices.
This is the problem with a religion that lets girls do as they please. There is much trouble with this, Kate.
Well, truthfully, it wasn't really about my religion. It was all about me being able to do what I wanted. I was only thinking about me. Didn't you ever have a time like that?
No. No, in Islam, it is very important to respect your father and mother. But my brother Khalid did as you did. And my father, he told him he must leave our home.
That must have been hard on your family.
I miss him. But it had to be done. He was bringing shame to the family, to my father, to Allah.
Is he still back in Egypt?
I don't know where he is. He tried to talk to me, but I would not let him. He betrayed us.
I'm sorry.
There was nothing we could do.
You don't hope for things to change?
How can I?
I just know they changed for me, and that always gives me hope.
What changed?
It was unexpected, but my mom got cancer when I was 20.
I'm sorry.
My dad called and asked me to come back and help him take care of my mom.
Did you go?
At first I said no, I didn't want to face everything.
Oh.
But then I got a note from my mom, and I could tell she wasn't doing well from her handwriting. She asked me to please come, and something shifted.
Was it hard to see her when you felt such shame?
It was hard, but it became a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
She welcomed me home with so much love.
Wasn't she angry with you?
She forgave me for all the mess, for leaving.
Forgave? No judgment or...
Actually, she helped me let go of my anger and guilt. And every day she was showing me her faith by her words, her attitude, by the way she trusted God even in the middle of her illness.
I do not understand.
I happened to notice her Bible open beside her bed, and there was words and notes and little pieces of paper stuck in it. So I picked it up and read the notes, and they were prayers.
What were these prayers?
Well, mostly they were for me to encounter Jesus. And she wrote about him like he was her best friend.
In Islam, we obey God's laws and the rest is in Allah's hands.
Well, I finally prayed that day, and I decided to put my trust in God. I also prayed for my mom, and for a little while she got better. Then the next year she passed. But I was so thankful for our time together.
I'm glad for you, Kate.
It changed my life.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for listening.
I have many questions. Maybe we can talk about these things again.
Anytime. Next week, we'll talk about grocery shopping. I'll bring a grocery ad as a study aid. Just remember, these come out every Wednesday. Got it?
Got it.
There's something else. My mother's Bible.
It's very old.
And worn in. I want to show you one thing. My mother's favorite verse. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are burdened, and I will give you rest." It spoke to me.
May I ask you a question? Christians talk about your Jesus as the Son of God. But how can God have a son?
When Jesus is called the Son of God, it doesn't mean God had a son like a man and a woman would.
But what does it mean?
Jesus was a great teacher, and he performed miracles, and he did a lot of amazing things.
The Quran talks about this. There is no question Jesus was a good man.
But he was more than that. He was fully man, and fully God.
But that would mean making a man into a god. I do not see how that can be right.
It's not taking a man and making him God. God willingly made himself a man.
Why would he do that? That is not like Allah.
God came to live among us because of his love for us. We've all walked away from him in many ways in our lives, except Jesus. He was pure, which made him able to take our place for the judgment of our sins.
Not sure I understand.
Jesus died so the rest of us could have life, and he rose again to prove he was who he said, fully man and fully God.
You sound so sure. But what about God's command to pray and fast and obey?
We still want to obey his commands, but out of grateful hearts, not out of guilt.
The Quran talks about some of these things, but not all.
That day in my mother's bedroom, I asked Jesus into my life. I knew I'd done nothing to earn it, but at that moment, I was forgiven.
What you're saying is beautiful. I'm trying to see, but my head is full. Oh, my baby is hungry. Maybe some other time.
I'm so sorry, Saalima. How did you find out?
My cousin sent me an email today. He heard about the accident from a friend who worked in Khalid's farm.
I'm so sorry.
There is nothing to be done. What can I do?
Why don't you let me take care of the kids tonight? You and Kareem should take some time.
Kareem has to work every Thursday, Kate.
Yes, I remember. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I am just, how you say, over my head with all of this. It's just so much. I haven't talked to Khalid all these years. Now I will never see him again.
Will you be able to go back home for a funeral?
That is not possible.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Last year, he wrote me a letter saying he wanted to come visit me and my Carlo. That he had changed. I never wrote him back.
I'm so sorry, Saalima.
I'm filled with Zainab. The pain of not being able to let the past leave me alone.
And there's forgiveness.
My brother cannot give it to me. It is too late.
But Jesus can. It's the forgiveness that I needed, still need.
You tell me these things, but I don't know. I don't know what to do, Kate. My heart is so heavy.
Can I pray for you? Is that okay?
Yes, Kate, please pray.
God, I pray for my friend Saalima and this terrible loss. I pray for her family here and her family back in Egypt, that you would comfort them at this time. I pray that Saalima would find your forgiveness in the middle of this hard time, the forgiveness that comes through your grace and love. In Jesus' name, amen.